getting out of the way.
Very interested in Mr. Barretto's Ferrari assessment, though. That caught us all by surprise.
Very much so.
Raised eyebrows and plenty in this commentary box when he said that.
Probably was the one team that that's very strong. And we've not seen that yet from Aston Martin.
That's a good point, and it is a bit of a sharp contrast to this time last year. And for that entire outfit, a sharp contrast to the last time they were here in Bahrain. But it's only half the picture at this stage.
So what's happened to Mercedes this afternoon? 9 laps for Lewis Hamilton.
Same as every day, mate. It's taken them that extra additional hour after lunch to get the car put together. And
there, the gut punch that we'll still get to see it, but we won't get to call it. It's the C4 tyre for Nikita Mazepin at the moment. 6 laps on this run. 167, all very useful for the man from Moscow, who is returning to the pits according to my information. There he is. The information is correct.
Smidge on the softest tyres yesterday. Mark Stroll was third, got himself in the mix, but this is a car that won a Grand Prix last year, was the best of the midfield runners. So I think the competition is looking like it's coming from McLaren, from Alpine, possibly Ferrari, and Aston Martin and Mercedes. We haven't seen that flash of pace that we were all talking about this time last year.
So, another piece of analysis.
I'm sure it's not all as it seems. That's basically what I'm getting at. I'm sure there's performance in there for Mercedes, and maybe we'll see a little bit more of it for Hamilton later on. Although the same fuel load that Valtteri ran yesterday will be transferred to Lewis's car today, I'm pretty sure. So if they're running 30 kilos with Valtteri yesterday to go top, almost certainly Lewis will get that same fuel load. They're not going to drop it all out for him, probably. It'd be very unlikely.
And here is Hamilton back out on track. Currently P4.
A little bit more. That wasn't. It looked a lot more dramatic actually from the camera angle we had, because the sand flew off from the runoff there, but that didn't cost him an awful lot.
I don't know. Are we just going to get back here in 2 weeks and be like, it's a trap?
Have you ever, in all the hybrid years, have you ever been this strong in thinking something's not right with the Mercedes?
I don't know.
There was a couple of years ago, Ferrari suddenly were the big favourites in 2018. Was it 2019? I lose track. And everyone had them down as heavy favourites for the season.
2019.
Yeah, I think it was 2019, and then Mercedes put up a pole by about a second in Melbourne. And everyone's like, oh, system. They've had a couple of reliability little niggles, but not as bad as the Mercedes one on the first morning. And we shouldn't forget, in Abu Dhabi, Verstappen put it on pole, won the race.
Yes.
They were there or thereabouts. They've been there many times at the end of many seasons and disappeared, but they have seemed to just transfer that a little better.
Is this the change? Is this the point at which the momentum shifts? There's always a bigger fish.
You just... Definitely not pulling all the way in the end of straight speed. That Mercedes right now. Not using 8th gear around the whole lap. Is he using DRS? Can't tell from the onboard shot. It's a 35.3. It's cautious on the corner entries. I don't think he had the DRS open there, did he? Let's have a look as he comes out of turns 1, 2 and 3. That might have year in Barcelona when they were spinning sort of once or twice a day with just this mid-corner oversteer that would catch both Max Verstappen and Alex Albon at the time completely unaware, it seemed. That carried on to the early part of the season as well. Then they managed to dial out and put some rear grip in it. A bit more rear downforce, stop it stalling, whatever was going on, and became more of a force at the end of the season, combined with Mercedes stopping developing their car conveniently. But if you just compare like for like Red Bull to Red Bull, they certainly look more comfortable this year.
Very, very good point. And that will be a huge advantage for Sergio. 2.587 for the Australian driver. As we say goodbye to Will Buxton, who is off to the paddock with his Star Wars references trailing behind him. Dropped all over the floor. Don't shrug at me.
Same time on track, same tyres. We don't know the fuel load. It's just the vibe of the team. Just all the chatter is about undeveloped cars. They clearly have a relatively undeveloped car right now, and they're not too bothered about developing this one either. It's all the focus going into 2022. Thankfully for him, he's gone easily over the 100 lap mark, and there's still over 2 hours to go.
Yeah, plenty of meaningful running for George Russell. His only day of testing, the only team Williams to run a test driver in this 3-day test. Has only got all the sandstorm day on day number 1.
Can't complain about that. But if you're going to miss a day, miss the sandstorm day. The new teammate, it was so fast. Leclerc's so quick, and the momentum just really gathered behind him. And before he's turned the wheel in 2020, he knows he's leaving the team. It's difficult mentally to try and sort yourself out for a season when coronavirus is taking hold, the season's changing shape the whole time. One thing's for sure, you're not going to be staying with the team for the next year. I think mentally it must have been a really hard season for Seb. And then you add in the fact that the Ferrari was midfield at best.
Yeah.
If the Ferrari was still a very drivable car and could be fighting for
helmet facing camera,
half tint on the helmet, getting into the twilight, getting towards power hour at the end of the day. Sainz is going to have some soft tyres to use up in that time. It can take a while for some of the more niche things you have to change in the year, but he's getting some laps in now. Maybe it's a bit of tweaking on a long run down to the final corner.
Bobby Schwartzman on the far end. Very highly rated by the Ferrari Driver Academy. Robert Schwartzman down there.
Good driver, Robert Schwartzman.
Very, very strong. Ferrari Driver Academy have rated him for a long time. He is one of the favourites for this year's Formula 2 Championship. And looking on. And Mercedes, I mean, that has got me excited. And probably in a few moments' time, Mercedes will slap in a rapid lap time like Dash Those Dreams. But at the moment, it looks like we are in for some season. So thank you to Jolyon, to Lawrence, Sam and Will as well. Thank you to everyone at the Media and Technology Centre back in the UK and the F1 TV team on site. Today, we also say goodbye to a truly brilliant producer, Foxy. Thank you for making everyone's life so easy on air. You will be greatly missed, sir. The very best.
Kit and a bobble hat with a red nose to give you 2 minutes of chat because it's so cold. So I think it's been a success in that respect, and obviously to varying degrees through the 10-team field, a success in terms of lap time as well, Kareem.
Yeah, I think on the whole, everyone's pretty happy that we came here, isn't it? I think, as Martin said, certainly from a selfish reason, we're all much happier doing our end-of-day wraps, standing in the paddock in Bahrain, rather than the 2-degree wind that blows through the trucks in Barcelona. Yeah, big one who you asked. So yeah, I'd probably say they are somewhere in that window.
Well, they were talk of the town last year, weren't they? Because they had such fundamental raw pace from the moment they left the pit lane. And then all the fuss started about how truthful, greater copy it was of the Mercedes-Benz and what have you, and all the fuss we had after that. But then I don't sense they've got that kind of raw pace at the moment, unless they're carrying 60 kilograms of fuel, which we think Mercedes are. It's a third of a second per 10 kilos, we'll call it around here. So obviously 30 kilos.